Hello, my name is Kelly Holt, Director of Philanthropy with the Amerind Museum. Today, we are featuring Amerind's greatest treasure, our community. Each of you and your dedication are what truly makes Amerind a distinct and welcoming cultural institution in Southern Arizona. Thank you for supporting our efforts to preserve important heritage and traditions and share contemporary Native American art and voices. Your financial support, museum visits, and even your participation in our recent virtual programming have allowed us to grow and thrive for nearly 85 years. Thank you. It is because of you that our buildings are now reopened with an exciting new addition. The long-anticipated, life-changing main museum air conditioning system. To help us celebrate, we found out what's on some of your minds about this moment for Amerind. It is my pleasure to introduce dedicated museum volunteer and our neighbor in Dragoon, Ellen Cohen, an important scholarly partner, Bill Doelle, President and CEO of Archaeology Southwest, and Amerind board member and community volunteer, Jim Quirk. Thank you all for joining us today. So Ellen, Bill, and Jim, in light of our new air conditioning system, what do you feel is the coolest thing about Amerind?
Amerind began as the Fulton family home well over 85 years ago, and many of the staff still live on the campus. And as such, it's like going to someone's home. It's the most welcoming, least intimidating museum that I know. And it's so much more than a place to see pretty pictures and old clay pots. It's a place where all of your senses are awakened, and on both a macro and micro level. It's a visceral experience.
Well, given the tremendous heat of this summer, I still am going to be able to go out and enjoy the boulders there in Texas Canyon, and then I'll enter the cool domain of Amerind. So that's what I think is super cool, and I will be heading, once I get inside, to see the Adriel Heisey From Above exhibit, which we actually partnered with the Albuquerque Museum in 2004 to open that, and it's been all around the country, and I love to see it in different places. So I will be out at Amerind not very far in the future.
I think the coolest thing about Amerind, it's sort of a three-legged stool. The staff, the board, and the volunteers. It is such a pleasure to work on a board where everybody is involved, either in a committee or something going on at the Amerind, and all participants seem to be so very, very enthusiastic about what's going on.
What are you most excited to see again when you're able to visit the museum?
Visual feast awaits. I love driving down the road and coming across the campus, and it's nestled in the ancient wind and rain blown and sculpted granites of Texas Canyon, and you come across the Spanish colonial architecture with the pink tile roofs and the soft pink walls and the lovely heavy carved doors, swirling wrought iron, and walk up the pathway, and as you push open that heavy door, you're just greeted by almost a wind of warmth and the cool terracotta floors, the well-worn terracotta floors. And but mostly I'm looking forward to seeing visitors come through that door and greeting them and orienting them to all that we have at the Amerind, the exhibits, which are carefully and lovingly curated in the museum and the art gallery, and telling them all about the trails they can wander amidst the boulders. So I look forward to seeing the joy on their faces.
My very favorite room in the Amerind Museum is that Images of Time in the Great Hall there as you enter the museum. So I will go right to that location and kind of reabsorb what I've seen in the past, and always, kind of thrill at what the different craftspeople have accomplished from all around the places where the Amerind collections have come from. So I really love that particular exhibit.
Open doors and activities returning. Also, can't wait to revisit and see more of the Van der Wagen collection. The Amerind should be so proud of bringing this caliber of a collection to its location. The fact that this collection includes pieces that are not completed so that guests are able to see the construction process from raw silver and stones through the finished pieces is really, really terrific.
And what keeps you involved with the Amerind community?
Well, in my case, one of the major factors for choosing Dragoon as my last address when I retired was that I could volunteer at the Amerind. That was my hope. And it's become an integral part of my life. I didn't quite expect it to be so entwined with my life, but it's a lovely 3-mile walk through the back roads from my home to the campus. And it's where I go for my dose of intellectual and creative stimulation. But most importantly, it's where I go for friendship and where I have established very deep and sincere, indelible friendships with many of the staff members and many of the volunteers and some visitors and visiting scholars along the way who share my values and care about the issues I care about. And it's a lovely place.
Well, I've known all of the Amerind executive directors except the founder, William Shirley Fulton. So it's been a place that I've been in touch with and acquainted with for a very long period of time. And I've seen the organization evolve, new directions with new executive directors, and you're moving away from big excavations to the intensive research reporting that serves a huge audience, and the bringing of the native artists and speakers out really celebrates the important native heritage of this landscape. So all of that makes Amerind just a wonderful resource and a place that I'm very pleased and honored to be a partner with that wonderful organization.
Amerind is such a great destination to visit and enjoy. The grounds, surrounding architecture, and collections represented our true American heritage so very, very well. The Amerind Foundation plays a vital role in the world preservation of Native American cultures. All of its activities, from the dances, exhibitions, the music, to the so many genres of Native American art represented by and at the Amerind, are so critical to the maintenance and continued expansion for their fabulous local way of life.